Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Our guest just told us that that piece of music that you just heard makes you and us want to get out of bed and conquer the world. And hopefully that's how you are looking at today, Tuesday the 21st. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:01 a.m. And I know, yes, those are real people. It's not just a button. I know what you're thinking. You see the headline. We have a great guest. We have a public servant. We have the executive director of the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry with us today, Shannon Cameron. Hello there.
Hello. Good morning, Curtis. Good morning, Aurora.
Yes, that's right. Talk to all the people. Grace Cornell is here. Good morning to you, Grace. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out in the rain. This is it's like the mailman, rain, sleet, or snow. We are here.
Absolutely. Got to give people the news, the good news.
That's right. So in regards to the news that the food pantry is doing, I wanted to start off with Hunger Action Month. Let's talk about that. Please let us know what it is and how you and your organization are helping to fight.
Yeah, so Hunger Action Month is something that is actually a national month of advocacy in September, where we're telling people that they have the ability to take action to end hunger in their community. So it's challenging people really to know that they have the power within themselves to take actions. And there's a variety of ways, of course. They can come volunteer, they can share a post, they can donate, they can tell a neighbor that they know is in need to come check out our services. But it's really a month just to let people know that hunger is a real issue in our community, and that they can help end it.
Nice.
Us together are much mightier, right?
That's right. That's right. Takes a village, y'all. Takes a village of mighty people. Now, I noticed that on social media, on the gram especially, you guys have, it's like a plate challenge.
Yeah.
You're holding up a plate.
Yeah, that's all part of Hunger Action Month, where we talk about what you aren't able to do on an empty stomach. So often, we take for granted, those of us that are food secure, not having to worry about where our next meal comes from. But we know that, of course, hunger affects people in a variety of ways. And I happen to think that hunger is the root cause to lots of other things that are going on, in our community, whether that might be hunger causes stress and tension in the home, which could lead to a domestic violence situation. Hunger causes behavior issues in school because kids are acting out due to lack of nutritious meal before they go to school. So it's the catalyst of many things, and if we can end hunger, we could possibly end some of these other things going on.
Right. Yeah. We were talking not too long ago, and I asked a question and I got an answer to it. And in retrospect, I thought it actually is possible. The question was, I think, can hunger be ended? Which is a lofty, kind of question. You mentioned that it can.
Yeah.
It actually could.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, and some people know this, but not everybody maybe, is that actually, how do we solve hunger? Well, you feed people, right? Food is not the issue. We have an abundance of food in this country. We have a huge food waste issue where very good food is being thrown away on a consistent basis. We saw with the supply chains, we saw food rotting in fields during COVID.
True.
Food is not the issue. It's access to food that's the issue. And to me, actually getting enough food would be a harder problem to solve. Breaking down barriers to access is achievable, but we need all the people to come together to make it happen. It's not, I wouldn't say it's easy to end hunger, but it is absolutely possible.
Yeah, I like I mentioned, I went back home and I thought about it. The times in my life where I have seen food be I worked at Olive Garden, but this is not a knock against Olive Garden. It's a knock against the food restaurant industry.
Right.
There's a lot of food that is thrown away. Yeah. Good heavens. If people actually knew how much food is thrown away in your restaurants or grocery stores back in the day. Now grocery stores, I think, are a little bit more cognizant of that. They take some items that are not yet perished and donate those to food pantries and banks. That's good. But yeah, food is being wasted and there's not enough access to it. You are right.
Absolutely. And I think it is a lofty goal, but it is our mission as the Aurora Food Pantry to end hunger in our community. We haven't done it yet. Right now, we're sort of transitioning from thinking about just ending hunger for a week, which is what we do with our weekly distributions, to hopefully helping people feed themselves for a lifetime.
Right. Yeah. The chat is on fire. Alyssa Ocone is here. Alyssa. Yay! How you doing? Did you go on a trip? Were you in Arizona or something like that? I was mildly lurking on your Facebook. Saw you out there having a trip. I'm glad you're back, and it's also wonderful to see your name in the chat. Aisha Saxon is here. Good morning, Aisha. Bianca Camargo, what is up? And Anna Sierra of Anna's Custom Treats. Gentlemen, if you want to do something nice for the wife, get the berries de fleur. It's like huge strawberries. They dip them in chocolate.
Yes,
or Anna dips them in chocolate. And then you got crumbled... whatever you want, Snickers and all that. So yeah, berries de fleur. Shouts out. All right, I got a couple of local topics to talk about. Then we're going to get back to our discussion here with our friend Shannon Cameron, the executive director of the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry. October 2nd from noon to 5 p.m., our friends at Talented 10 Social Services are hosting a holiday craft vendor fair. This will be a fun event, and there is a $25 vendor fee, and the location is 205 North Lake Street. The link was shared with us, but it's also on their Facebook page, Talented 10 Social Services, TTSS. Check that out. Don't forget, our friends of Mutual Ground are hiring for a number of positions: clinical manager, prevention educators, relief advocates, and therapists. Mutual Ground is a nonprofit organization providing education and life-changing services to end the cycle of domestic and sexual violence. They are a trusted resource and a longtime staple in our community. And you know what else they got? Because I got the news right here. Hold on. That's right. October 15th, which is a Friday, they are having their Black and White Ball from 6 to 11 p.m. at Hotel Arista, located at 2139 City Gate Lane in Naperville, over there by Top Golf. Mutual Ground supports everyone. Because it's a black and white ball, all participants and guests must wear black and white, or shades of black and white, including silver. Don't be the person wearing blue or green or something. Oh, it was a nice tie. No, it's not. Okay, the time is 8:08 a.m. So, how long has the food pantry been in Aurora? Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry?
So this year we celebrated our 40th year of service. So we started in July of 1981.
Wow.
And an interesting little known fact is that Marie Wilkinson was one of our founding members.
Okay.
So it was several people in the community were reacting to the recession in the 80s, saw a huge need at their churches and came together to make, again, like we say, it takes a village, as you said, saying, hey, our one church cannot solve this problem alone,
right.
So it's going to take all of us. And they came together of different denominations of Christianity and other faiths, and to make sure that they were taking care of the community, which I think is pretty beautiful.
It is. Thank you, Alyssa. Alyssa recently just got back from visiting the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what a trip.
I want to go to there.
Nice. Greg Ellsbury's here. Good morning to you, Greg. I want to say real quick, let me plug this in. Actually, we have an intern. Yes. Her name is Monica Vasquez. She answered the call to duty, and she is here. She's in the studio, but she's so far away from the microphone that you can't even hear her. But you will get a chance to hear her deliver news coming up on Thursday. Shouts out to our new intern, Monica. Much appreciated. All right. 40 years in the community, Marie Wilkinson having been a founding member of the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry. You guys are located on Jericho.
Yes.
Back there.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Right by the AMVETS Post 103. What's the hours of distribution, and have things changed? There was a separate schedule when COVID started.
Yeah, we've kept to that schedule for the most part. We are open for distribution today. Right now, you can head down there at 9 a.m. technically, but you could get in line now if you wanted to. But
right.
9 a.m. we start 9 to noon, Tuesday and Thursday, and it's a drive-through model. However, there are other ways you can get food too. We have our Pantry to Go program, which is a delivery service.
Okay.
So if you lack transportation, we realize that's a big issue with some of our neighbors that don't have transportation, can't drive down to the pantry to get the food. We bring the food to you. And you can go to our website and sign up for Pantry to Go services that way. If you it's just aurorafoodpantry.org/pantry to go, and sign up for that. And also we do pop-ups. We were out in West Chicago on Saturday. We're going to be back in Aurora this week, but we do pop-up pantries as well. So we bring the food to the people.
Okay. Yeah. Now, let me make sure I got this right. Is it the Northern Illinois Food Bank that you partner with? What's the relationship there?
Yeah, great question. So we are an agency of the Northern Illinois Food Bank.
Okay.
Which means we're a partner agency. We sign a contract with them, and they are a supplier to us. So we purchase food from them, and because they are supplying many different agencies, we're just one of them. We happen to be one of the larger ones, but they have many. They have more purchasing power, so they can get bulk items for cheaper. So that's why when we say if you donate $1 to us, we can turn that into $8 worth of food. That's that purchasing power. And also we're part of an emergency food program through the food bank, which allows us to get some of that food for free as well. So we can really feed more people due to our partnership with the Northern Illinois Food Bank. And then they, of course, are an agency of Feeding America, which is one of the largest charities in America. It's kind of that's the national organization, and then Northern Illinois Food Bank is the regional organization.
Never heard of Feeding America.
Yeah, Feeding America.
Did not know that. Wow.
And they're the ones that kind of lead Hunger Action Month, which is why I'm here today. Yeah.
Nice. It's not every day that I hear something I never heard before. That's awesome. All right, Emily says, hold on, Emily, where'd you go? Let me see what you had to say there. It looked very interesting. We could pay owners of food trucks to collect boxed up leftover food from restaurants at closing and distribute to sites after the restaurants close. Could there be a grant for this? That's interesting.
Love that idea. And I think it takes those kind of think outside the box ideas. Right. And there was, because of DoorDash and Grubhub, all those companies that were delivering, some of them created during COVID, there was so much takeout food, right? Because restaurants weren't open, ways where you could pay a smaller amount and you just get what you get, but it happened to be some of their leftover food,
right.
Which I think is, what if a restaurant was going to throw away the food? Perhaps they ask people to pay a lower amount. They could donate that money to other organizations. Somebody gets fed, they don't throw it out. It's kind of a win-win for everybody. But I love that idea, Emily. I think that's what we need. We need to start thinking about kind of those simpler solutions to the big problem.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We got some smart listeners. Heck yeah.
That's right.
All right. Karina Suarez-Darden, good morning to you, dear friend. And Claudia Sanchez says, this is great. Her elderly neighbors need this, and she's going to let them know.
Awesome.
I think that's about the pantry delivery.
Yeah, pantry
service.
to go. Yeah, absolutely. You can also just call the food pantry if getting online, especially, we have a lot of older neighbors that can navigate the internet just fine. Some may or may not have digital internet access, but if they can always call the food pantry, ask for Marcy, and Marcy coordinates our pantry to go program, and that she will hook you up.
Nice.
Yeah.
How often does food come there?
So all the time.
Okay.
So Joseph, who's our awesome driver, drives constantly all day long picking up food, and that part of that is through the food bank we have Direct Connect, which is our food recovery, which he mentioned. He goes around to all of the area grocery stores that we have partnerships with and picks up food, and then of course we have the food bank delivers to us a semi truckload of stuff, and then we go pick up from the food bank as well. So every day he's out there picking up food. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. The time is now 8:15 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I have a couple of quick local news items to give to you guys, and then we'll get back to our discussion about Hunger Action Month with our dear friend Shannon Cameron, Executive Director of the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry. Okay, Fermilab. I told you about this last week, and I know that many of you creative and cool people were like, "Whoa, I didn't even know about that." I'm gonna hit you again because it's coming up quick. Sunday the 26th at 2 p.m., $4 tickets to go see The Gifts by Geraldine Cox of the UK. Do we appreciate and enjoy all the gifts that discovering nature through science can bring? In this illustrated talk of art, poetry, and science, Geraldine Cox will explore some of these gifts and discuss how nature's marvelous imagination and our methods of understanding it might play a greater role in our world. Sunday, October 3rd, 2 p.m., no fee. Experiments in Hybridity, Echoing Forms by Shuddata Majumdar from the Netherlands. He is a visual artist based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, working in a range of media to investigate notions of pattern formation. As Crossing Parallels artist in residence, at DeLift University of Technology, he worked in photography and concrete to explore living and non-living weathering patterns on the environment. Amazing. Yeah. And then Sunday the 17th, Why We Laugh with Dr. Sophie Scott. That'll be $4 as well. Sophie Scott is professor of cognitive neuroscience, comedian, and the director of Institute for Cognitive Neuroscience. What a resume, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? Well, I do psychology and I tell jokes. Oh, damn. Holla. All right. She studies the neural basis of vocal communication and how our brains process the information in speech and voices, and how our brains control the production of our voice. In 2020, she was appointed Commander of the Order of the British Empire in the Queen's Birthday Honors for her services to neurosciences. Shouts out. All right, last quick piece. The Office of State Representative Barbara Hernandez is hiring a Communications and Outreach Coordinator. The Communications and Outreach Coordinator serves as a liaison between constituents and state agencies, as well as other stakeholders. This position is also responsible for making the general public aware of Representative Hernandez's projects and programs. There's a part-time position at 15 hours a week, and you report to the Chief of Staff. For more information, you can email Haley at repbhernandez@gmail.com. The time is 8:18. Okay. What is the situation of hunger in general in Kane County And is Aurora faring better than other cities? Are we equal? Is the problem more pronounced here? What's your view of that?
Well, I have concrete numbers for Illinois in general, and of course I could tell you who we serve and our numbers of service right now in Kane County. We serve most of the people that come to the Aurora Food Pantry are from Kane County, a considerable amount. Of course, we do serve 5 counties though, and sometimes we get somebody from Cook County. Our requirement is not that they live in Aurora. You can live in a variety of places. Pretty much we ask for an Illinois address or ID and to get food for us, but we never turn anyone away. If you're hungry, we feed you. I mean, right? But as far as in Illinois, we're looking at, there's of course different populations of people are affected by food insecurity more than others, but we're looking about 11% of people are food insecure, which means they don't necessarily always know where their next meal is coming from. And then there's very food insecure, very low food security, which means more often than not, they don't know what they're going to eat. Nationwide, we look, we fare better here than nationwide. 1 in 5 children face food insecurity in our nation, which I think is a staggering statement.
That is. That
people don't realize how prevalent hunger is in our country. In Illinois, 1 in 8 children. So we're a bit better here in Illinois. Certainly there's areas where states where there's a lot more poverty, a lot more unemployment, which we know are 2 direct connectors to food insecurity, where we see states that have far less food security. We're lucky, but that doesn't mean that we're not still serving, hundreds and hundreds of people a week here. So I don't want people to get too comfortable. Like, Illinois is doing great. It is doing better than some of our other states, but we still have a lot of neighbors that are facing whether or not they're going to eat. And a lot of parents, to credit to them, will go hungry so their children can eat. So if you think of 1 in 8, which how many, you go to your child's classroom and you can think about how many kids are in that classroom, a few of those kids are facing food insecurity, and then their parents probably are skipping meals so they can feed their children. No.
It's a sad state of affairs.
It is.
It's a sad state of affairs. How long have you been with the food pantry?
Not long. I'm just, what is today, the 22nd, or is it the 21st?
21st.
21st, so tomorrow it will be 6 months.
Oh, dang.
So,
yeah.
I'm almost official now. I've only been here since March. I came to Aurora in 2017 to open up the Paramount School of the Arts, and fell in love with Aurora. I love this community. I think it's full of incredible people. I think as any community has, it has challenges and things that we need to band together to assist, but there are so many wonderful things about Aurora, and I have felt like it's home to me, even though I've only been here 4 years.
Right. Well, we're glad to have you.
Yeah,
we're glad to have you. So we have the now Marie Wilkinson's Food Pantry, which is located on Highland, is a separate organization. You guys partner at all? Is there overlap of duties and things like that?
So we are working on some partnerships. Okay. Diane, who is amazing human that runs Marie Wilkinson.
Diane Renner, shouts out.
Yeah, she's been with that pantry for a very long time and really has done so much for our community. She and I have had some meetings about ways to partner in the future, so we're excited about some things that will be upcoming with that partnership. We've done different things just to try to make sure we don't have overlap on distribution days, things like that. We have a large community. We're the second largest city in Illinois, right? There's a lot of people to feed here, so the fact that we both exist just is a testament to the fact that there's a lot of people to feed.
Yes. Yeah. All right, guys, it is 8:23 a.m. I have you guys know what I like to call this. I have one. So without further delay, let us get into Gotta be professional with it. All right, Sage, breaking news. Sage is collaborating with I4A and to host an information sharing webinar on September 17th from 10 a.m. to noon with the Aging Network on advancing equity for LGBTQ older adults in Illinois. The goal of the September webinar is to enhance our outreach efforts and help the aging. Wait a minute, this already happened. Yeah, this isn't breaking news anymore. Here's the breaking news, actually. Thank you to Tracy Duran for detailing this to me. There's a Starbucks coming on Lake Street. Did y'all know that? Did anybody know that?
I did.
You did? You're a Starbucks fan?
No.
No? Okay. There is a Starbucks coming on Lake Street, you guys, and it's going to be the old Long John Silver's down there on Lake and Indian Trail? Or is that Illinois? I think it was on Lake Street, which is 31. Right. Oh, yes, in Illinois. That's Illinois. That's Illinois. Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? And will that take away from the goodness of our local coffee shops? I know a lot of you have expressed consternation at the thought of a big chain like a Starbucks coming to town. It's happening. How do you guys feel about that? You can let us know in the chat if you are a coffee lover. Now, we get our coffee from Treadwell, so it really doesn't affect us in any way. But for you Starbucks fans, get ready. Get ready for that. Let's get some local stuff out of you, Shannon. Sure. Where do you go to for your coffee? I'm not a coffee drinker. But I do, I'm a big fan of the London Fog, which is a tea drink at Treadwell. They do the best London Fog around. But I love our local coffee shops, and I love Indiro, I love Society 57. Whatever I get there is still yummy. I don't drink it every day. Okay. All right. No. One of those weird ones. Restaurants that you favor? Oh my gosh, so many. I love because I was working in downtown Aurora for over 3 years. I love our restaurants here in downtown Aurora. I love sort of the mom and pop ones like Tortas Guadalajara. I love a torta. Mm-hmm. I love we have the great tacos wherever you go in Aurora, which I love. Who doesn't like a great taco? I think Indiro's lunch is delicious. I would go there often for lunch. All sorts of places down here that I think are great. So if you haven't been to downtown Aurora, check out the amazing establishments down here. Excellent way to plug that in for the people watching at home. All right. So how has COVID affected your life personally? Or the biggest effect it had? I think it was profound for me because, well, certainly we all had to change how we were doing things. So I'm not alone in that. Right. But, I was working a dream job at the Paramount School of the Arts. And beyond COVID, there was a lot of bigger things going on in our world. I think most profoundly was the murder of George Floyd, which, brought once again a discussion about systemic racism in our country and many other things, right? And so I think that those two things at the same time also gave us a lot of time to think. We were home. I was working from home. I was teaching classes online. We were doing the Paramount School of the Arts all online. I had a lot more time to kind of consider things, and it led me to this job, where I was thinking, how can I make a greater impact in my community? How can I be a positive force of change? Because that's like my personal mission statement, if I had one, is to be a positive force of change in people's lives. And this job came along for the food pantry, and I felt like there's probably nothing more important than making sure people have food, because they can't get all the other services they need if they can't survive, right? So it just felt like a great opportunity to make a positive impact. I think one of the things that I've liked about, because for those who are fans of Good Morning Aurora, you will know that we interviewed Shannon way back a year ago when you did work for the Paramount. One of the things that I do appreciate about you and individuals like you is that, like, your comfort level is not with your position, your comfort level, and these are my words paraphrased, but your comfort level is with how you are helping others. There's many people who have great jobs and they're comfortable with that. That's it. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm living good. Then there's people who measure their happiness, not saying that you do, but you are trying to help people, not just be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think complacency is something I never want to be accused of, you know?
Right.
That, in fact, I know that out of discomfort, it comes growth, right? So sometimes we got to put ourselves in those uncomfortable, icky situations in order for us to become better people, right?
Right.
So I think I've lived a very nomadic life, searching constantly for the opportunity to make an impact. You know, there's that great quote, and I don't even remember who it's from, about, you know, wanting to be, I don't know if it's Camus or something like that, but about wanting to be fully used up, you know, by the end of end of your life. And I like that idea. Like, I don't want to leave, you know, it can't die with me. You know, I can't take things with me, right? So I want to be used up. I want to say that I gave everything I could to make this world a bit better, you know. And luckily, with amazing other people in this community working towards similar goals, I think we are making an impact, and we will continue to.
I couldn't have said it better myself. You see that? That's how you just deliver great speeches. Okay, look, I'm going to do you one better now. I did mess up on the sage, but here's the thing. On Sunday the 26th, there is the On the Wall Car Show Hip Hop Fest. Now, this is too legit to quit. It'll be from noon to 7 p.m. at 225 Middle Avenue in Aurora. Car show participants must arrive by 11:30 a.m. to be able to park within the festival site. Access Middle Avenue from Gale Street. There's a prize for fan favorite. Any questions? You can give contact Nicole at culturestock.org. Also, Kane County Circuit Court Judge Bianca Camargo is having her campaign kickoff reception and fundraiser. And that's going to be at La Cabrada Restaurant at 723 South Broadway. That'll be the 29th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $40. All right. And then also, I've been telling you guys about this. Thursday the 30th. Forklift driver certification class brought to us by the Kane County Sheriff's Office, 37 West 755 Illinois Route 38, St. Charles, Illinois. That's the Kane County Jail. For more information, you can call Mr. Joseph Garcia at 630-329-6668. That number again is 329-6668. Card certification is good for 3 years, you guys. So shout out to our friends of the Kane County Sheriff's Office. All right. The time is 8:31 a.m. Okay. So, Bianca Camargo, yay, Aurora is the best. Tracy Duran, good morning to you. It's gloomy out, but it's always sunshine, and good morning, Aurora. Oh, my God. That was nice. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you very much. All right. Thursday, we've got Monica on the show. She will tell us about her life as an intern and being here with us and learning all kinds of cool things. So you guys get ready for that on Thursday, and tomorrow's Buenos Dias, Aurora. All right, back to our discussion with you. Now, Shannon, I want you to tell the guests what since you've been in this position, what moment or what event, you guys do pop-ups too. Mm-hmm. What moment or what event was it that solidified for you your attraction and your dedication to the food pantry and what you're doing now? I feel like there's always a moment for people. There's a moment where they realize, like, you know what? Let me tie these boots up a little bit more. You know, I'm here for this.
You know, it's a good question. I don't know if it was a moment, but I knew my first week that I was in the right place.
Okay.
You know, so it wasn't, and it was actually when I was even doing the research. My interview process was quite long for this position, so I was doing all this research on food insecurity. I was reading lots of books because, of course, I come from an arts background. This is not where I ever thought I'd be if you asked me 10 years ago. And so I was reading as much as I could and trying to, educate myself. And I think during that time and during that first week where I just, saw us as this very essential thing that has to happen in our community, and meeting some of our neighbors was what we call our clients, because they are our neighbors. And that's one thing that I think is so important, that people could face food insecurity. They're secure today. Something can happen tomorrow and they find themselves food insecure and might need the pantry. That I think all of that learning about how many people suffer from hunger made me just want to do everything I can to work so less people are facing that on a daily basis. Yeah.
Because it is sad. One hit on the ship and it could be over for a lot of people.
I don't think people understand like how fragile really everything is. And I think we're seeing that right now, and even in a big way, like in our country, with food prices going up, all prices going up, because of supply chain issues hung over from COVID and the Suez Canal catastrophe with the shipping. But
the memes were awesome.
Right?
I love the memes.
But we are still suffering the consequences of that with pricing, and you can't get things for 6 more months that you would hope to get. We see how fragile we are even in that way, right? Where things we have like, I can get things next day shipping, all of a sudden part of the scaffolding is bent, and that affects everything. And I think even with a family that might be driving around fancy cars and living in a big house, and somebody loses their job, somebody goes to the hospital, and they lose their the person that was bringing home money, and now they also have expensive medical bills. Whatever it might be, just that one action can cause a chain reaction where they find themselves in a completely different place. And I think all of us need to take some time to appreciate the fragility of that, and that certainly you can save, you can do if you're privileged enough to be able to do that to prevent some of that, but there's a lot of people that don't have the support system around them,
right?
And that once that scaffolding breaks, there's no one else to support them, and that's it. But that's why we exist, because we hope that we can cushion that landing a bit, help people out. We want people to come to us. And there was a interesting USDA research piece that just came out last week, and it was something like 38 million Americans face hunger in this country. 38 million people are on SNAP, which is our food stamps,
right.
And it is not easy to qualify for SNAP. And think about all the people that are facing food insecurity that make just a little bit too much money for SNAP,
right.
But they still can't feed everybody all the time. And I think also what was interesting about that is that 60% of people that face food insecurity are not taking advantage of pantries. And I think that is right now my mission, to figure out why that is and make sure they know what the process is, they know they're welcome here, and that they're treated with dignity, so they don't feel shame. Because I think we work with veterans a lot. I know you're a veteran, and I think there's issues like, somebody needs it more than me. I don't want to take something away from somebody else, but what I want to tell the community is we have enough. Come.
Right.
If it can help you make sure you pay your car payment or pay that medical bill where you're not spending that money on food, you're now be able to do that, please come use our services. If you know somebody, encourage them. We want to help ease that, because we know it's a struggle. It's hard.
Yeah, it's both of those things too. Yeah. It's like for the veterans out there and like the older folks, they do have that mentality of they'll suffer because they don't want to use up the resources for somebody else. And then there's just the shame of it. Like, as you know, I work in housing.
Yep.
I meet people all the time and talk to people who never had to worry about paying. They never had to call an agency to see if they could get rent assistance, and they're crying, and they're in their 50s or their 60s, and it's very sad because this is that moment where it all came crashing down at this part of their life, and they don't want to be standing at a food pantry receiving that assistance. It's like, and it is difficult. It is difficult. I try my very best to try to like take away that stigmatism for people. Like I tell people, like, look, there is no shame in it. If you were a crane operator for 50 years, you earned your right to be able to get this food or to apply for this assistance.
Well, and you don't even have to earn it in any way. It's there because we take care of our neighbors, right? That I feel, instead of people feeling like they need to earn, like, it is actually our responsibility as a society to take care of each other, right? If we have the ability to save someone from hunger or homelessness, we should do that.
Absolutely.
It is our social responsibility to care for each other, and I think a lot of times people put it off onto other things. They'll take care of it or whatever. But that's what Hunger Action Month's all about: is what can you do? There's a lot you can do, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Some of those things take no money. Take very little energy to take action to help your neighbor. Have food on the table this week,
Jennifer Ryan Mayton, good morning to you, dear friend out there. We are so glad to see you. And we have a listener by the name of Tia who's celebrating her birthday today. So we can do that to you, Tia. Happy birthday to you, dear friend. The time is 8:40 a.m. Monica, do you have to go? All right. Our intern, Monica, has to leave at 8:40. She will be here again for you listeners and viewers tomorrow and Thursday. Have a good day, friend. All right. So I want to read just a couple of more things from our great audience. Thank you very much, Tracy, for that. Lake in India. Happy birthday to Tia. Lots of birthdays. Thank you so much for your support and mentoring the kickoff. No problem, Bianca. Something that I did that's different in my personal life. And my mom used to do it. Every house I lived in, my older folks used to do it. I started collecting the cans of the foods I don't eat but I collect. And I donate that now.
That's great.
I wasn't doing that before. Yeah. I collect those cans of those beans and things like that, and I donate that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, why wasn't I doing that before? I did feel kind of guilty. I was like, man, I should have been doing that. I should have been doing that. Because if it wasn't for the Northern Illinois Food Bank last year and me having to go during, COVID time, like, I wouldn't have had a Thanksgiving. I had to go up there to Java Plus and, get the turkey and everything like that. That's how rough it got. And I like the fact that other people don't have to deal with that. They shouldn't have to deal with that, or they should feel free and welcome to go do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's most important to me, that they are welcome.
Yep.
And that they're no different than me or anyone else for needing assistance. They're just a neighbor,
That's right.
And there will be times where I need help, and I hope my society's there for me too.
Exactly.
In my community. So it's I think getting rid of the otherism is really important to help ending the stigma for accessing any services. And speaking of the turkeys, we are partnering with the Northern Illinois Food Bank again this year, Marie Wilkinson and Holy Angels Food Pantry, to do a citywide distribution of turkeys and meal boxes, holiday meal boxes, on November 20th in Phillips Park. So there's information. There will be information out soon about how to sign up for that, and all you do is sign up online to register for that. So it's a really we want people, we know the holidays are tough, people have more bills, and they want to make nice holiday traditions with their family, and everyone should be able to do that. So we're excited to partner with the city again this year and other local food pantries to make that happen.
Awesome. Very cool. Good stuff. All right. Now, there's also, so let's talk about the party. There is the benefit coming, or not benefit, but party.
Yeah,
happening.
It is a benefit, though. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. So we, having been around for 40 years, I don't know how many people always care about organizations' birthdays, but it is special to think 40 years we've been feeding our community, and that is worth celebrating. There's been amazing human beings that have come in and out of the pantry, both as our neighbors receiving services and those working there, and our incredible volunteers, which is the backbone. I think what's interesting is our volunteers save our organization roughly $60,000 a month by their service. We tabulate the average volunteer hour, and that is incredible, thinking about who all these volunteers that come. Right. But I do think that that all just in general of what we do, and celebrating that and celebrating those people that come through our. So we were doing this 80s party because we were born in the 80s and doing it. And it was at Society 57, October 8th, but as of yesterday we're moving it online, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, but just out of I think a lot of concern for the Delta variant and other issues. We have the amazing Bridge Bash event that's happening the same night, unfortunately, for Neighbor Project. We support Neighbor Project. We love Neighbor Project. So it's going to be an 2-day online event, Thursday and Friday. Okay. There'll be amazing silent auction and things to bid on to help support the pantry. It is important that we raise money to make sure that we can get our operating costs and keep feeding people. So, and I think as much as we want to see our people and celebrate with our people, we want to always help, not harm. So, so that was the decision after talking with lots of people about some concerns, and that's what we're doing. We were inside, not outside. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm sad about it, but I think our community will answer the call and still come support how they can. We've been very lucky that way, and we hope they continue. Please come bid on our awesome auction items.
Right. Because I think the information is still, AuroraFoodPantry.org/house party.
Yep, you can still go there and get information. And then Friday the 7th and Thursday the 7th and Friday the 8th, we'll have everything live, and we'll actually send out emails. So if you want to go to our website, find out more information about it, so you can be invited to bid on stuff early on and get some awesome prizes for local incredible establishments.
Yep, right here, you guys. I know the lights is kind of taking away the validity of this ad. Never mind then. Okay, well, I can read it to you. That's why we need an intern. Okay. So, real quick here, Anna says, thank you for all that you do. Josie Mendoza Geller, dear friend of the show. Think you guys are back from that trip. I hope so. Hope it was a good time. She says, love thy neighbor. And Tia says, while she was working last year passing out food to parents in School District 131, they had a list of all the food pantries and her partner, and she would explain to parents what they needed to do and make it very easy to do. Thanks for all that you do.
Oh, and thank you, Tia. We need more people like you helping get the information out, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Tia. Thank you. All right, I got a couple more pieces of news to give you guys, and then we'll wrap up things here with our friend. So, Diaper Need Awareness Week is coming up, and we are taking part in the diaper drive with the Office of State Representative Hernandez with many other community partners. That'll be from September 27th to October 3rd. The items needed are open or unopened packages of diapers of all sizes, baby wipes, and diaper bags. Besides ourselves here at 5 East Downer Place, Suite T, our times are from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can also access Treadwell Coffee, Family Focus, McCarty Mills, State Rep Hernandez's office at 540 West Galena, the Aurora Business Center, 31 West Downer, Endiro Coffee, and the Santori Public Library, 101 South River Street. Shouts out to everybody for taking part in Diaper Need Awareness Week, and we are happy to be taking part in this, man. It feels really good. It feels real good.
Can I say something about that?
Certainly.
We've got programs coming up thanks to a grant with the Aurora Women's Empowerment Foundation that we're going to be doing women's empowerment pantries, pop-ups that'll include food, diapers, formula, menstrual hygiene products, because those are necessities. Diapers are necessities, right? But WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children program, SNAP, you can't use those funds to pay for diapers or menstrual hygiene products. So, and they're expensive,
right?
You know, so it's very important. So, thanks to Barbara Hernandez for organizing that.
Yeah, because that's kind of sad that it's not. It's a no, right? It's a no-brainer.
I think there is a bill that I believe Representative Hernandez is supporting to add that, at least at the state level, right? I mean, it is a federal program, so I'm not sure how that all works, but I hope they do, because those are necessities, yeah.
All right. And once again, Aurora Downtown is turning downtown into Sugar Skull City from October 15th to November 7th to coincide with Day of the Dead events during First Fridays on November 5th. Started in 2020 by the Downtown Group, Sugar Skull City will feature dozens of participating businesses, a scavenger hunt, and activities for all ages while honoring a cultural and local tradition. Sugar Skull City. So Day of the Dead this year will feature alebrijes, magical animals from Mexican folk art, and is a tie-in with a new mural from Aurora Public Art on the BNSF viaduct wall along East New York Street by artists Pierre Lucero, Catalina Diaz, Laura Reyes, and Janice Rodriguez. Shouts out. We've been documenting that in some pictures on our Facebook page. You guys can check that out, because I've been taking progression photos of that mural from its rough sketches to adding a little bit of paint to the more and more paint being added. The time is 8:50 a.m. Okay. So let me get that working again. All right. So we talked about the impact that COVID had. I do want to get a sense
on me, at least.
On you, yeah.
On the pantry, we saw 400% increase.
400%.
Yeah. So we saw so many people needing extra services, and so when we talk about how easily and the fragility of things this can happen, so many people were there during COVID, and we've seen a decrease now, and federal benefits have helped, but unemployment went away with the moratorium in Illinois on evictions will eventually go away. We'll see a difference in that. SNAP benefits, however, are going up October 1st, so that should help a little bit, but pandemic EBT cards, which people were getting, have also ended. So there's a lot of boost that the federal government gave that now has ended, and I think in these next couple months we're going to see a huge increase again.
The schools instituted the EBT cards for the students. I thought in a couple of districts. Yeah,
they did. I know in West and East Aurora, at least, they were receiving $400 a month per student, and that was a huge help.
Yeah.
But that's gone now. So September 15th was the end of that, because now kids are back in school and can receive those meals, because it was a way to kind of all those meals that were missed. And of course, we know that these free meals that are in school, at least in a 131 and 129, all meals are free, because there's enough people in both those districts to make them Title I schools now, districts, that all meals are free for all students. And not having those, sometimes those are the only 2 meals those kids get in a day, so that it's imperative. So that support was really needed, but that going away is really going to affect families. So.
See, that's the kind of thing, if I was president, I would make, every school in America would have free meals.
Yes.
Man, let me tell you.
And that would change the world. I mean, like, honestly.
I would do it.
and free meals for every kid. I agree. I'm sure we're like, where are you going to pay for that? But like,
yes,
how do we?
Right, yeah.
But the thing is we're paying so much as a country for the consequences of not making sure every kid is fed. We're paying healthcare issues, behavior, jail time, all sorts of things stem from not having a full belly at school.
Yep.
So we're paying for it, and we're actually paying a lot more money than it would to pay for programs like that. And interesting fact, the school meal program actually came out of Chicago because of the Black Panthers.
Yep.
And they're the ones who started feeding their community, which is maybe a little known fact, but it was ended because of unfortunately, police went in and stomped and urinated on all the food and shut it all down. Not a great part of our Chicago history, but the fact that they saw the need, they saw that feeding kids was going to change that community, and I think that's a pretty cool information because not everybody knows about it, but feeding kids has got to be one of our most important priorities as a community, I think.
And I think, and that's what motivates and has motivated me to reach out to people like you and have you tell the story, and for me to volunteer, because I don't want to live in a world where, a juice box and cereal to a poor kid is controversial. I don't want. Who's doing that? Who's turning out the lights on scrambled eggs for 8-year-olds? Like, I don't want to live in a town, city, or community where that is something we got to think about.
Now, unfortunately, we do. But we've got ways to help, and I hope you use those ways. And it is sometimes controversial where people are always worried about, like, oh, there's people in this line that don't really need it. And I'm like, we don't know their story. We don't know anybody's story. And what we know is that they felt that they needed to come and get food. And that's all I need to know. And it's important, like we preach it to our volunteers, to anybody that works there, is that it's a self-attest need. If you are coming here, you need it, and that's it. And we don't need to know your whole story, but also we know we don't, right? And I find it difficult when people make assumptions based on a car they drive or whatever, that they don't really need something. But again, that we're fragile, and you don't know how close you are to not knowing where your next meal comes from until you're there.
They don't really need it.
Yeah. We hear that a lot, unfortunately. And the numbers don't lie. As far as 38 million Americans, 525,000 people in northern Illinois alone are facing food insecurity. So
staggering numbers. All right, it is 8:55. All of you dear people, 8:55. All right, so I guess we will start to wrap it up, because we've got something good for you guys to check out coming here very soon. We have a talk today, a panel discussion with Planned Parenthood Action of Illinois Action today. That's going to be via Zoom, and we will debut that with Claire McNorton, who is a program director. She's the programming manager of the Disability Advocacy and Organizing section of PPIA. So that'll be really good, and we'll post that for you guys later on. Okay, final thoughts.
Did you know that 11% of Aurora is disabled?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was just crunching the numbers because, of course, people that face disabilities are more likely to be food insecure. And I was crunching this on, and that's a lot of our population.
That is 11%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little over 11%, I think, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. These new census numbers I haven't looked at fully yet, but I'm sure they'll show us.
That census created a whole lot of, we'll call it hubbub for the purposes of this conversation.
Yes.
Final thoughts before we get out of here. It's 8:57.
I mean, I just asked that today we have a Hunger Action Month calendar on our website. You can go to aurorafoodpantry.org/ham for Hunger Action Month. There's a calendar. Today's challenge to the community is to make meals that food that you already have in your cupboard. So reduce food waste. Go check out those. If you're not going to use those beans, please donate them to us. But if not, find a meal that you can make with just stuff. How many? And I am guilty of it too. I remember a friend posted a life event on Facebook that they had finished their entire thing of lettuce, of the salad mix. Like, that was huge. How many of us have thrown those things out? See what you can make based on just contents of your fridge. Just talk to your family, talk to your kids about food waste. And, obviously we don't want to create food stigmas. You have to finish everything on your plate, but you can talk about eating a little bit and then having more if you need it, so it doesn't go in there. Encouraging people to eat leftovers. It just, like I said, we don't have an issue with too much food. We don't have an issue with too little food. Sorry, we just need access. But you can donate on our website. You can come volunteer. We are in desperate need of volunteers all the time. Come spend a day with us. It'll change you. It really will. And I think one thing that I just want to mention that a lot of people don't know about is we have a lot of court mandated volunteers, and their stories are some of the most powerful for me. That we're a little part of restorative justice. We have a lot of people that come, and some of those people end up being our best volunteers, and their stories are so incredible, and how they're changed because of their interaction with our neighbors and the staff there. And I just shout out to them. And I think a lot of people don't know that that's something that we do, and I think it's a really important part of what we do. And our volunteers are amazing just in general, and we're lucky to have them. So come volunteer with us, or teach your kids about food and hunger and how to help others.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. This was a great episode, you guys. We thank you very much for tuning in. And we thank our friend Shannon Cameron, Executive Director of the Aurora Area Interfaith Food Pantry, for joining us today. Go out there and do something nice for the community. Learn more about the food pantry. Get involved as a volunteer. It is a very, very good experience. You are actively giving back to the community in many ways of paying it forward. Tomorrow is Buenos Dias, Aurora. Be sure to tune in. We've got a great interview there. And Thursday, we will sit down with our new intern, Monica. Take care of yourself and each other.